Welcome to our 12th annual Raptor Tank. We are so happy to be here. We're glad you all are here. My name is Matthew Seeger, and I'm a co-lead for Raptor Tank this year.
My name is Samantha, and I'm also Raptor Tank co-leader, and we are very excited to have you here tonight.
It's going to be a very exciting night. All of these contestants have put in so much work. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce our Dean of Instruction, Hospitality, and Business, Dean Alton Henley, to give us some opening remarks.
Thank you very much. Until recently, actually, I was the Dean of Business, Economics, Accounting, Computer Applications, Hospitality Management, Paralegal Studies. But we've simplified it and made things more streamlined, and I'm very thankful for that. We have a wonderful event here for you tonight. First of all, I would like to thank the Foundation Board members who are here. So any Foundation Board members who are here, if you could please stand. Thank you so much. And I don't see, okay. And eventually we will have a member from the Macklin Foundation, Don, who will be joining us. And they're part of what makes all of this possible because they funded the MBI initiative. And what makes Raptor Tank unique is that it's not only student run, but also student funded. The monies that are made through the MBI Cafe, and for those of you who aren't aware, the MBI Cafe is student run. And the money, the profits that are made from that fund student scholarships and fund events like this. So it's all through the efforts of the students that this is made possible. And it wasn't just made possible today. This is not a one-day event. This is an event that has taken 3 months to come to fruition, okay? We created a flipped format Blackboard course. And when I say we, I mean the students. We just told them to do it, and they did all the work. Where they created videos and worksheets to help people work through their ideas. They did in-person workshops to help people work through what they wanted to do. And they had several guest speakers, some of which are sitting here in front of us today, who came in to motivate the students and let them know exactly what it took to create and have a successful business. 70 students signed up, 50 from the Rockville campus, 10 from the Tacoma Park campus, actually over 70, 10 from the Germantown campus, and another 2 online. And 16 students completed all the materials. Now, that's not to say that the other ones didn't put in a valiant effort, but it was a lot of work. Essentially, Raptor Tank is another 3-credit course that our students take on. And not for the grade, just for the ability to learn what it would take to build a business of their own. Now, those 16 students completed all the materials and participated in the preliminary rounds. However, 6 teams were selected for the finals, and that's what you're going to see tonight. And they're going to be competing for, oh, Bear's here. They're going to be competing for the $5,000 worth of seed money, which will be awarded to our winners. Bear is here with his owner. Bear is the dog that won one of the previous Raptor Tanks. A faculty and student work group was formed to develop the competition format and guidelines. There was orientation workshops that were held to recruit participants. So if you saw meetings in Macklin Tower, Tuesday nights at 6:30, Friday afternoons at 2 p.m., we've been consistently having meetings to make things possible for these young people, and they've been putting in the work. In the preliminary round, a group of faculty judges provided feedback on each business and identified specific areas of weaknesses that needed to be addressed. I'm not saying that there's any bets on what's going to happen tonight, but I know everybody has their favorites. And there are 6 teams that have moved on to the final round, which we will see tonight. And I believe that the judges will be introduced at a later point. And with that, I would really love to welcome you here. Like I said, it's a very special event. I've been at the college for 10 years, and every year, it's one of those things, even if you weren't involved with it, you would hear about what was going on in Raptor Tank. And so I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dean Henley, for your kind opening remarks, for supporting our Raptor Tank project, and for all you do for our Montgomery College students. At this time, we'd like to introduce you to all our judges today as we give them a chance to briefly introduce themselves.
So, Caroline?
Hi, my name is Caroline. I'm the owner of Sweets by Caroline. We're a pop-up bakery that specializes in gluten-free French macarons, cakes, and Asian-inspired desserts. And we recently just expanded to Buggy, our bakery bus, so you'll see us driving around the DMV area. I was a student here and pitched back in 2019, so it's very amazing and crazy to be back here on the opposite side. So I'm excited for tonight. Thank you for having me.
My name's Shai Palavani. I'm a local tech entrepreneur. I've started Live Safe and Hungry, and I've been a Raptor Tank judge for I think 9 or 10 years now. So super excited to be here and support these kids.
Good evening, I'm Bill Keating. I've been a Raptor Tank judge for over 10 years and just truly enjoy this time spent with the students and learning more about their businesses. I own a few businesses in the area, a portable toilet company called Santa John and a Federal Express delivery business. And so I have a love for transportation, but I'm excited to be here tonight.
My name is Stefan Sandberg. I work here at the college for MCTV and for the Office of Communications. I started my first company when I was 15 and have worked as an entrepreneur much of my life. I worked for a private equity firm for a number of years and ran a business incubator for 5 years in Sweden.
Hi, everybody. I'm David Popp. I was in the commercial real estate business for about 30 years. I retired about 10 years ago from a firm called Transwestern. I was senior managing director for the region. And since I've been retired, among the things I'm doing is teaching an intro to business course here at the college. Been teaching since 2016. Enjoy it. Been a judge since 2016. I remember when Caroline was on that side of the room instead of our side. So doing it for a while, I enjoy it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Connie McGuire. I spent my early career in accounting and finance for a couple for-profit corporations and a couple nonprofit corporations. And then I started teaching here for about 20 years. I taught in the business and econ department on the Rockville campus. So I am the antithesis of the entrepreneur. I have no entrepreneurial bones in me at all, and I live in awe of any of you that do. I've been judging Raptor Tank off and on for the last decade. Since I left teaching here at MC, I joined the foundation board and spend my time raising money for scholarships and support services on the different campuses. Happy to be back here again.
Hello, everyone. My name is Austin Wickham. I am a former co-lead of Raptor Tank, and so I'm happy to be back. I graduated from MC in the MBI program in 2017, and currently I am a M&A strategy consultant working in the healthcare and life science industry and also consumer retail.
Thank you, judges, for volunteering all of your time tonight. You will not be disappointed. These are some really good pitches. And to the audience, if you look at your programs, you can look to get some more background on these judges as well. So go ahead and flip through that before we start.
Okay. As you can see, the entrepreneurial dream is alive here on campus. There are tons of student entrepreneurs willing to get their hands-on experience in this event. We have enthusiastic faculty members who want to get involved and local community business leaders that are supportive of our MC community. To connect these groups, Raptor Tank was created to give students a chance to make these ideas a reality.
In the development of Raptor Tank, the Macklin Business Institute and one of its programs, MC Enactus, partnered with Montgomery College, the business program. Raptor Tank is primarily funded by the MC Cafe. Have you guys, or Macklin Cafe, sorry, have any of you been there? Can I get a show of hands? Raise your hand if you've been there. Keep your hand up if you want to tell me what your favorite drink is. I don't know if you guys do a specialty coffee, but I'd say the regular coffee. There you go, regular coffee. Yeah. It does, yes it does. And then we have seasonal hot chocolate now, so get it while it lasts.
So today we're excited to host Raptor Tank. Throughout this program, we've had the privilege of seeing each contestant empowered to bring their business ideas to life. We're thrilled to share their progress with you here today and look forward to hear the inspiring stories ahead. I'm excited to hear these business pitches today. Are you, Matthew?
I sure am. And it was around this time last year that you were a contestant. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
That's right. Yeah. Now I'm the other side of the competition, which is pretty crazy to me, to be honest. Last year, I remember I was a nervous train wreck. But now that I'm standing here, now that I've had the actual experience of standing on stage and speaking to a huge audience, it's not as scary anymore. And I remember last year's co-leads were very helpful, very encouraging of my ideas, and I'm now here today as a co-lead for Raptor Tank.
The Raptor Tank program started in October, and what you guys are seeing today is the polished presentations. There is so much work that came in behind this. Weeks of workshops, we had orientations, back and forth with all the contestants to get everything we needed to make sure that their presentations were perfect for you today. So let's just give it up one more time for these 6 presenters that will be here today.
So a little brief summary on what the program consists of. So the program included a series of workshops. We have online workshops as well. We have worksheets provided to students that provides both hands-on learning experience, and we provided mentorship on everything, including business concept development, to SWOT analysis, to financial analysis.
And we actually have last year's winner, Juan, with us today, with Bear as well, the winner. So let's give it up for Juan as well.
And last but not least, participants here today had 1 week to review and incorporate faculty reviews and feedback to improve upon their initial presentations. We're excited to see what they've changed and what they've improved on their presentations.
After all the finalists pitched tonight, the judges will come together to deliberate and figure out how to disperse all the prize money.
How much money?
$5,000.
$5,000.
I could use that money myself.
I mean, hey, it's worth more than my car, seriously.
You could buy 1,000 MBI drinks with that money.
But don't worry, guys. Everyone here is leaving with the prize. For our audience members here today, those who stay until the very end, we will have a raffle opportunity for every attendee to participate in, so please remember to drop your tickets in.
So we're going to talk about what some of those raffles are now. So,
Okay. So who here needs a speaker? AirPods, maybe?
mine are
Show of
broken.
hands.
I could use them.
No one?
Yeah? Come on, all your hands should be raised right now.
Who wants AirPods, speakers? Come on now.
I personally could use that.
Actually, no.
never
No.
mind.
These are for our lovely audience members,
Right.
not for us today. It's our chance to serve them today.
That's right.
So, yeah, anyone entered into today's raffle, and here when we draw the winners, we'll have the opportunity to win gift cards, AirPods, speakers, and so much more. And as a thank you to our guests, we will also include a special envelope courtesy of the MBI Cafe with some mystery rewards.
Don't forget where all of this starts, the MBI Cafe, which is funding this program tonight. So please check out our cafe and grab a drink after this or this week.
Okay. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, we're going to meet our lovely contestants right here. We have our 6 teams who have been working extremely hard over the past couple of weeks to best prepare their business pitches. They come from a variety of backgrounds and majors, all here sharing a passion for entrepreneurship.
Before we start, can we give a round of applause to MCTV for this amazing work in setting up and making tonight possible. And now, please welcome our first contestants, Jonathan and Andy, representing SONE.
Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan.
And my name is Andy.
And we're going to tell you a little bit about SONE, a solution that will revolutionize patient communication in healthcare. So communication barriers for patients with limited mobility lead to accidents and delayed care. Let's say, for example, someone is a stroke victim and they have difficulty moving and communicating their needs. And let's say, for example, that person also has a speech difficulty as well. And that can lead to dangerous situations and, at the very least, inconveniences that keep them from communicating their needs effectively. So approximately 5.4 million individuals in the United States are living with paralysis. The leading causes include stroke, spinal cord injuries, multiple sclerosis, and cerebral palsy. And this number actually goes up when you start to consider people who are post-operation and have temporary limited mobility. So as y'all can see, what we built is SONE, a tablet application that works on both iPads and Android tablets and allows patients to communicate their needs, whether they want ice, they need to use the bathroom, or they're in pain, completely hands-free, regardless of their needs. And more so, on top of that, the nurse actually knows exactly what they want without having to go into the room and speak with them. So as you could see in the video, the patient, in this example was Melvin, was able to tell the nurse that they needed ice, and the nurse, water actually, in this case. And the nurse was able to bring that water to them and save time instead of actually going to the room, talking to them, figuring it out, and then getting it for them afterwards. So this kind of tackles the problem of burnout in nurses and saves them time, as well as the patient communication issue. So the camera tracks eye movement to determine the focal point of the user's gaze. And when the user focuses on an option for 3 seconds, it's automatically selected. And the nurse receives an instant push notification to their hospital-issued iPhone, indicating exactly what they need. And we, as a team, have a few accomplishments, and we have been regarded as the most philanthropic hack at the University of Maryland's BitCamp Hackathon. And we also won the best diversity, equity, and inclusion hack at Johns Hopkins University's Hot Hacks. And we're all computer science majors who like to build things with over 2 years of experience. So the plan is to develop and deliver a more intuitive user interface so that anyone, regardless of their needs, is able to understand and use it seamlessly. And complete development of a bundled all-in-one HIPAA-compliant solution that involves both hardware and software, and collaborate with leading institutions to have actual pilot testing and collect feedback from that testing from early adopters and iterate and improve going forward. And then finally, of course, secure additional funding through SBIR and SETR grants and scale to more hospitals.
And going over the financials, we listed over here a Mac Mini for us to develop iterations over iOS versions, so all of our members can tackle the issue of getting the software out, as well as having a bit of investment on the 3D printing, so we can have castings like camera casting for our hardware here, which is a camera that was 3D printed here, as well as compliance measures, so the litigious and technical safeguards that we have to keep in mind. So those are things like having a Google Cloud healthcare service, or having BitLockers, system logs, so we can keep track of where the data is at rest and at transit. And we go on. We also have if we were to produce 2 products, which would be the camera and hardwares, as well as the sensors, that would bring the 2 units would be about $303 for those 2 units. So it'll bring up the total cost for $41.53. And then the next steps would be iterating over the software and implementing more features and HIPAA considerations, as well as prototyping different hardware configurations, acquiring cameras and developing, producing units to test, risk analysis and testing, as well as working with institutions so we can better this. Thank you so much.
Great presentation, great product and software. I had a question regarding how do you deal with malfunctions, like if an iPad was freezing up, or how Apple always has updates. So how do you deal with that?
So there would be a final version we have. So the tablet that we ship out would just be a version that only goes onto the app. So when there are issues when it comes to hardware-wise, there'll be downtimes, but we'll be notified when there are downtimes with the software. They'll be notified, so then we can have support to whether if we have to restart the tablet or come in and do any minor tweaking. Also, anybody who wants to invest in our first iterations also have the security of knowing that we will be supporting them, and if any technical issues come by, we'll be able to help them with that.
And the thing about that, just to touch on it, is that a malfunction can be critical in a lot of cases. It could be a matter of life and death, especially in a hospital setting. So that really just comes down to a lot of rigorous testing to make sure, like, for example, unit testing, like testing a specific part of the application in a specific use case, and trying to consider as much as we possibly can. And yeah, that's our plan for mitigating that as much as possible.
So who is your competition right now? And congratulations, by the way, on getting this far.
Thank you. Yeah, so the competition right now is Mainly this company called Epic Systems, which handles a lot of the medical technology in this space, and they account for around 40% of the market share. But a lot of their technology is outdated and just a lot of relatively old, especially in healthcare. It kind of lacks innovation because you are dealing with sensitive information and people's lives. So that is our main competition. It is a place that lacks innovation, but with the right execution, it's definitely possible.
Thank you.
Very good pitch. You guys look professional, you sounded professional, it was very compelling. So well done. My question's really on sales. I mean, you've got Holy Cross up here, you talked about Hopkins. You know, there's a lot of individual hospitals, but they have motherships. You know, there's a mothership for Holy Cross and Hopkins. So what's the game plan for going after hospitals and selling this?
Right. So in tackling at least the initial cost for the compliance was about $2,500 for the compliance. It would be best to have a unit run about 5. So we divide the total initial cost for the compliance, dividing by, let's say, 5 for 5 units. That would be 500 into consideration for each unit, on top of things like hardware to have the cameras and screens as well. So you can sort of say that the product would be right around a $700 to $800 price range.
And a lot of that also comes down to just who we know in the space, because cold calling with hospitals is not going to work. So what we've done is actually try to meet as many people at accessibility conferences and just tech conferences that are decision makers in the space and can actually help us get to pilot testing. And there are specific programs run by NIH that actually help you get in front of users and test and actually push it forward after it's ready.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you speak a little bit more to the financials? What does a package look like? Is it a combination hardware, software, support, subscription? And how many units do you need to sell to break even, do you think?
Right, so great question. So it would be a hardware and software solution. So whether they need a screen or they have an existing screen, they can have the SONE app, as well as having, in the future over here, we have our hardware. So this is a camera, is going to be our eye tracking system that tracks the user gaze. This will be the most performant when it comes to accuracy and ensuring that there's little to no issues. So we're packaging those both together. And at the moment for subscriptions, we don't have that in mind. We just want to get it out to people. And like I said, like when they have the SONE softwares or those first early adopters, they will be supported and we'll like keep iterating for them. Yeah.
There are a lot of markets that we definitely could hit. That's one that we actually hadn't considered, but it's something that we'd definitely be interested in exploring. And there is also, of course, nursing homes, patients who have less mobility and kind of have difficulty communicating their needs with a staff that is relatively short-staffed. So there's a lot of use cases that this could be useful. It's just about getting it in front of the right users as of right now, testing, perfecting it, and pushing it out at some point.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan and Andy. We will now give the judges a few minutes to discuss and deliberate their worksheets. During each transition between each contestant, we're going to have some guest speakers come up and we're going to ask a few questions. And we'll be interviewing a few people. For our first interview today, we're going to have Caroline Ta, a former Raptor Tank contestant and a current judge. All right, Caroline, it's a pleasure having you here today. So I just have a few questions about your business and about your pathway from Raptor Tank to your current job. So first question is, how does it feel to be back at MC, being a first former contestant to be here as a judge?
It's crazy to be back here. I feel like it's a full circle moment from when I was pitching in 2019, and then the same judges here now that I'm on the other side. It's very full circle, and I'm very honored to be here, so very excited, yeah.
We enjoy having you here. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And can you share a bit more about how participating in Raptor Tank has helped you on your path to starting your own business, to starting Sweets by Caroline?
Yeah, after winning, I was able to use that seed money to get my first KitchenAid mixer, so that helped me scale the business, was able to take more customers, and then from there I went to University of Maryland and then was able to have the confidence and be able to take on another pitch competition. So Raptor Tank really gave me that foundation, all the workshops with all the entrepreneurs here that gave me advice and all the networking connections that I was able to make while I was here to help me when I moved on to the next pitch. So mostly the confidence and the resources, yeah.
Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah.
And to follow up on that, what advice would you have for our aspiring entrepreneurs here tonight?
I would say to just go for it and put yourself out there. When I first pitched, it was just an idea and it was just a hobby that I had. And then I just did the competition on a whim, just for fun, not thinking that I would even make it through. It was just for the resources and to meet and network with the entrepreneurs. So from there, I just kept talking about my business and more and getting more confidence to pitch and really pursue from just a passion to a business. So just to go for it and put yourself out there. Yeah.
Great. And now that your business is actually growing, how can people learn more about your business and actually buy some Sweets by Caroline?
Yeah, on our website, sweetsbycaroline.com, social media, all at sweetsbycaroline.com. And then on our website, we also have a calendar of where you can find us next, where our events are, and then you can also order online as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You all heard
Thank
it right
you.
here. You guys can go ahead and contact our Caroline right here. We're gonna welcome Matthew back here on stage.
All right, we are now ready for our next contestant. So please give a hand for Vasal and Vision Gate.
Hello, everyone. Before I begin, I want to thank the MBI Cafe as well as all the judges and the organizers of Raptor Tank for hosting this wonderful competition that has inspired me to kickstart Vision Gate. So Vision Gate Property Solutions, we provide affordable, high-quality media for real estate professionals. So first off, I want to start off with these 3 statistics. 87% of buyers say photos are essential, 97% of buyers search online for homes, and listings with professional photography and videography sell 32% faster than those with amateur visuals. And this causes for realtors to rely on doing it themselves or hiring freelancers to do it for skyrocketed prices. And when realtors do it themselves, this fails to attract buyers effectively due to the low quality in visuals. So what is our solution? What does Vision Gate provide? So we provide professional photography, videography, and social media marketing, as well as digital floor plans that come with our packages. Our services are specifically designed to meet the needs of realtors and smaller real estate agencies, as well as Airbnb rental owners, etc. From stunning visuals to social media campaigns, Vision Gate covers all aspects of property marketing, and professional media helps realtors attract more buyers. Like I said in the first slide, listings with professional videography and photography sell up to 32% faster, which shows the value that this media holds in the real estate industry. Our motivation. So I first picked up a camera my freshman year of high school. I wanted to go shoot for the local football team. And after that night, when I came home, I shot the football team. I realized that I had a passion for photography and just creating content. So fast forward 4 years later, I had a friend come out to me with the idea of Vision Gate. And he is currently interning at the One Street Company, a very known real estate company under the mentorship of CEO Samir Croatia. And I believe with our positioning and my abilities with the camera, we can truly scale this business into something outstanding. Our competitive advantage. So I stress a lot on the affordability part of our services because compared to the other media agencies that are out there, such as Media, there's one called Media Agency, and there's DG Media. And compared to those two, we have truly more affordable packages, and I stress that a lot because we aim to target for smaller agencies, smaller realtors that are just starting out, so we can help them elevate their sales to the next level by showcasing the property with the highest amount of quality. And our packages not only include media, but they also provide marketing services, which is a lot of things that media agencies don't do usually in the real estate industry. We want to also help market the videos that we shoot for the realtors on social media and on our website. As well as my partner's understanding of real estate, he's currently getting his license. And with all that combined, I believe we can truly scale our business. And okay, my bad. And this was a video we actually shot for, I don't know why it's not playing, but this was actually a video we shot for African Impact Awards. That was a very short clip. That was the first ever video we actually shot. We shot it with our phones using very cheap gimbals, and we try to make the best of it with editing that we did on phones and just try to make the best of what we got hired to do from the African Impact Awards. So some of our strengths are, I believe, again, I stress on the affordability of our product, our real estate focus, and our creative expertise. And our weaknesses are that we are a new brand, we have limited portfolio, and we lack affordability and capital. Our opportunities are rising demand for digital real estate media, as well as combined with our strategic positioning within the real estate industry, we can truly scale this. And the threats are established competitors and freelancers. These are our financial projections and packages. So our basic package starts around $250 with 20 photos for lighting and staging adjustment, goes all the way up to $1,500 a month for 8 videos, curated photos, and full social media marketing packages. And we aim to break even within 12 to 18 months for the cost of our lean startup costs, around $6,000 for cameras, gimbals, and all the equipment that we need in order to start this business. So why choose VisionGate? We provide high quality media accessible to all realtors, specifically small ones and those that are just starting out. And we empower realtors to stand out and connect with buyers and help us bring every property story to life. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes.
Hi, I'll start again. Hi, very good job. Thank you. Can you tell me, you say you'd be doing work on social media. What would you be doing on social media with this?
That's a very good question. So I believe a lot in the power of social media, and I believe if you create content in a format that is designed for the algorithm on social media, such as TikTok, Instagram, it'll reach its audience, and those, like, you'll see, I think we all have, picked up our phones and started scrolling randomly, and that scrolling, if you designed your videos for a way to fall into the algorithm, you can truly kind of market a lot better on social media. So social media marketing is with videos like the realtors going through the houses and giving, explanation of the house, but very short videos, like 15 to 30 seconds.
So are any other realtors right now showing individual listings on Instagram or TikTok?
Not that many, no. You'd be surprised, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That answers your question. Yes.
First off, great idea, excellent presentation. Quick question that I have for you is, as you're providing value for your clients, what is going to be your main mode of drumming up business for yourself?
My bad, could you repeat that last?
So where are you going to be able to find your customers? As you're providing value for your clients to make sure the listings are sold, how are folks going to know VisionGate? How are you going to get your name out there?
Like I said, with my partners positioning within the real estate industry, we already have connected with a couple clients that are willing to let us shoot for them. And I think it's just throughout getting our name out there within, getting sponsored by smaller agencies, bigger agencies, and just slowly starting out. And at first, we're gonna have to do the dirty work ourselves. Like, we're gonna have to get the cameras, go shoot the houses ourselves until, we learn how to fully do it. And then once we start seeing some scalability, then we can hire the freelancers or people, off the internet to come, and then we sit at the top, and then we just, got it from there. Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that.
What would you do with money?
So,
if you won?
So for the money, we'd need it for equipment such as cameras. Cameras are really expensive nowadays, especially high quality cameras. It costs you about $2 to $3 grand. There's gimbals. Gimbals are devices that help you set up the camera on, that help you shoot the house very smooth and makes the transitions look a lot smoother, as well as digital floor plan scanners. It's like a specific type of camera you set up on the house. It scans the entire house, and you can create a digital floor plan off that. And all of that combined with a couple more equipment pieces, such as lighting equipment and microphones, it'll come around to about $6,000, which is our lean startup cost.
How much passion and drive do you have to make this happen? How hard are you gonna work?
Very. I truly believe we have a lot of passion. Again, like with my passion for photography and videography, now that I have found something that I can make profit off of, it's giving me a lot more passion to do this, and this is one of the reasons why I came into Raptor Tank.
You mentioned a team, so how many people are part of your team? And do you have it split up, like is there a social media person, a video person, a camera person, or do you kind of all do everything?
So currently, it's only two of us. It's me and my partner. He's currently the real estate. He has the real estate minds, and I have more so the creativity and the videography, photo, and social media mind. So he's on the client getting side, and I'm on the more creating side of things for now.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
So, on your, so the way that you're targeting your customers, it's not on a house-by-house basis. You would sign a realtor for their whole portfolio of houses, and then you'd build a social media presence around the realtor. Is that how you're thinking you're approaching?
No, we would actually, so for the marketing side of things, we'd build the social, like we'd make videos per se. So if a realtor buys our package of $1,400 a month, we provide them 8 videos of houses that they need per month, and we try to help market those, create them in a way, and we instruct them, hey, you need to do these things for your video to get more exposure in the social media world. And yeah, I think it's more so just a house-on-house basis, and the costs vary depending on the size of the houses as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Visal. That was good. Judges, you're going to have a couple minutes to presentation. And during that time, we are going to invite Professor Jana Anderson, the chair of Business and Hospitality Department, to come up park in Germantown, and I'm going to interview you. You can stand.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Nice to be here. Can you give us a brief description of your current role and background of your time at MC?
Sure, of course. Currently, I am the interim chair for the Business and Hospitality Department. I've been at Montgomery College for 13 years, which means I started when I was 10. Before to being chair, I was actually program coordinator for the Hospitality Management Program.
I wanted to ask about the hospitality program for a minute. Can you talk about how entrepreneurship has been built into the hospitality program at MC?
Absolutely. So we really think that entrepreneurship is important, and as you can see, many businesses, just like Carolyn's, have been rooted within hospitality. So we actually started a mobile food lab, a business entrepreneurship lab for our students, which some of you may call a food truck. And while it is a food truck, it actually is an entrepreneurial business lab. So students within the program, they get to write a business concept, create a concept, and then they actually get to test it out in our mobile food lab.
So hospitality is providing some of the refreshments today and some of the food. Could you talk a little bit about that, the preparation?
They are. So the other options that we have for students, very much like MBI, we provide internships for our students, and those students, they actually get to work in our hospitality kitchen. And today the food was prepared by all of our interns. You will be enjoying some Nashville hot chicken sliders, some mac and cheese bites, a couple of grazing boards. So definitely stick around and enjoy some food afterwards.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good luck, everybody.
Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Next up, we have Kevin and Francis with their presentation, Forever Flowers. Please give it up for Francis and Kevin.
So before we begin, we want to pass these along for you guys.
Luca.
You guys to look
There's
at.
samples.
Yo.
Okay. All right, hi, I'm Francis.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are
Forever
Forever Flower.
Flowers.
Now, before we get started with our presentation, I wanted to show you guys this really important comparison. These are both lily bouquets of flowers, except one is crochet and one is real. They're both very pretty, hard to choose from, and very vibrant and cute. However, 1 week later, you can see that the crochet flowers are still very pretty, vibrant, and cute, but the real lily flowers are all dead and wilted. That's why we give to you our solution, Forever Flower.
So how did we start? For our very first Christmas together, she asked me for Forever Flowers, and ever since then, we've crocheted flowers for each other. And these are some of our favorites. She made me for this for 6 months. It's 6 strawberry roses.
And this is a hydrangeas, and he made it for me just because. All right.
Online platform and delivery through Shopify within 3 to 4 business days on standard for utmost convenience.
Our flowers are also handmade, unique, they last forever, they're authentic. Because crochet cannot be made with machinery, usually cheaper alternatives means underpaid labor.
So customization and sustainability. Unlike other crochet businesses, we offer vast customization options because we're the ones actually making it ourselves. We're also ecologically friendly because we use 100% cotton instead of acrylic, which is made out of plastic. We're also a safer alternative to traditional flowers, which harm the environment through pesticide use.
And for our competitors,
We have the traditional rose flower that goes for $5 to $8, dies within a week, and harms the environment.
then we have a Forever Rose from La Flor Bouquets. This is $130 for one rose that's real chemically altered, and it's clearly not affordable for just one rose.
Now we have our product, Forever Flowers, which we'll sell for $20, is handmade, lasts forever, does not harm the environment, and is bigger and fuller.
Now our ordering system is pretty simple. You just choose your type of bouquet. It's a pre-made or a custom bouquet. Our pre-made bouquets are usually ready-made as is, and our custom bouquets you can usually choose your flower type, color, wrapping, or any accommodation for occasion. However, these will be limited availability because there's only 2 of us. To meet our demand efficiently, we must limit our production, which helps us shape our prices a bit.
Price is based on choice. So here we have all our SKUs on our pricing ranging from $20 to $250. It's important to acknowledge that we are a luxury product because we are 100% handmade, and that in the long run, we will save you money compared to consistently buying traditional flowers.
And of course, our orders will be sent within 1 to 5 days. Customization obviously takes a lot longer, but our pre-made bouquets are usually going to be taken from an inventory that we already make. And since I already do have experience with marketing on social media, we chose TikTok and short-form videos as our main marketing platform, and of course, Pinterest for photo advertising. We want to include pretty visuals with a consistent warm color palette and our simple, catchy brand name, Forever Flower, it is what it is. And we want to take advantage of common trends, such as girls showing off their bouquets of flowers and partners buying flowers just because, like these.
So here are some facts about the crochet market. It is a growing industry, estimated to go from $9 billion to $10.7 billion globally by 2028. And 85% of consumers desire a more eco-friendly alternative, which is exactly what we will provide.
And for demographics, again, TikTok is our main marketing platform. Among crochet buyers, 86% are usually women aged 18 to 34. And for TikTok users, about 54.8% of TikTok users are women, with 68% being 18 to 34. And of course, for seasonal trends, crochet items are usually at peak demand during gift-giving holidays.
Cost breakdown. So for our fixed cost, we have our Shopify monthly subscription at $40 a month. And as we scale, we expect to need more space for storage for our products. So we estimate that to be $200 to $400 per month. And the rest is our production costs, which we have calculated to be $5.31 per unit, 1 unit being 10 flowers.
Alrighty, and for our estimated sales projections, of course, based on demand and expectations of seasonal demand, we expect more customization requests in season, so this shows the peaks of revenue based on our assumptions. As you can tell, in February and May, which is Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, we tend to have a peak of revenue there and units sold, and a growing peak towards the end of the year towards winter holidays.
Here is our goal map. So in the short term, we want to build our brand reputation and create a following. And then as we scale, we'd like to employ people who know how to crochet and form relationships with other crochet businesses. And finally, we wish to create a specialized marketplace for forever flowers, not just crochet, but for...
There's pipe cleaner flowers, resin flowers, and even satin ribbon flowers too. And these
here
are
are
our
investments, so our cost of production, our rent, and our platform maintenance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. I loved your presentation, and I love the flowers. I'm a big flower person. You're right about these live flowers. They die quickly. So my real question is, how big do you think you can get? I know it's the 2 of you making these products right now. Do you think you could expand further beyond
so
what you
I
said
think
on the
it's still
chart?
pretty niche for right now.
Okay.
There's people who do know how to crochet, but there's not really any big platform online or anything like universal right now. So I think we can definitely kind of connect those people who kind of know how to crochet. They probably sell on the weekends for a couple of hours, but they don't have like a real like platform to really sell on.
Yeah, and we're mainly talking about those who send at like or sell at flea markets only for like a few hours over the weekend. So we want to employ like those or get them onto our marketplace so they can also sell their products.
That's great.
So I love the product, and just piggybacking off that, tell me more about the marketplace. That's a big idea. So you're saying my grandma who loves to crochet can now make money on your flower marketplace?
Yeah, so as we scale, of course, we need to build a reputation, a brand. And then once we can do that, we can establish our own website where we'll have, our own following, and people who already know how to crochet can list, their items on our platform with our brand. and from there we can take a cut from the transactions like that, and then
Yeah, and as we market, we do want to build more relationships so that we can create like we can make the marketplace itself, you know?
As you've been using TikTok for marketing, have any of your videos gone viral? And what are your average views on some of the videos that you may post?
Alrighty, so we actually haven't made sales yet. We haven't like actually started. This was our pitch now. Like we just wanted to present it first. But we honestly do know a good amount of the trends because we are a couple ourselves. So we kind of see it a lot on our algorithms. So we kind of know exactly what we're gonna, make videos about. So we don't really have any viewers yet like that.
Great presentation. I love the visuals, and it's such a beautiful product. My question was, how do you guys plan to keep your customers coming back? Because it's like a forever flower. I would buy it for someone once and then use it for forever. So how do you keep your customers like coming back every time?
we'll have like seasonal like drop stuff like that. So like during like Christmas, anniversaries, birthdays, there's a lot of times where you can buy somebody flowers, and we can have different like unique type of styles and variety. So yeah.
Yeah, there's also a sense of like exclusiveness from our customized bouquets too. So that's what we wanted to use to keep customers coming back.
Thank you.
Do you see any other competitors like on Etsy or other places that are doing exactly what this is?
So actually, yeah, we do. We did look into that. A lot of them are very standardized, so they won't offer customization like we do, or it'll just be like very cheap product that's usually like, there's not much passion in it, and it's usually like made from overseas, again, from underpaid labor. So you don't really see the authenticity in that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent presentation. Since this is a handmade product, obviously your costs are primarily in the labor. So how does the pricing work? How long does it take to make one flower?
So generally, one unit will be about 5 hours.
That's like for 10 flowers. Right?
So for 10 flowers, yeah.
So, yeah. And you asked about the pricing, right?
Well, no, so I was thinking more, what is that, so income, what does that turn into on an hourly rate for flowers?
So we did increase our prices from a preliminary round, and so we added a lot of different SKUs in our pricing. So we have like a very quick to make like one rose flower to be $20. And then as you progress, it gets more expensive.
It gets more expensive, and then each unit actually gets cheaper. So, like instead of, let's say, 2 flowers being like $40, that'll end up being like a lot cheaper and like 30.
Good question. I love the customization, but I'm wondering if you've given any thought to stockpiling some standard flowers. For some of us, 3 days is too long to wait. You need the flowers today.
Of course, we've thought about
I'm sure no
this.
one in here.
We've thought about this, so that's why what for the investments we didn't want to use that to create the inventory. That's why, like we said about the pre-made bouquets, we're already gonna have that inventory there, so we can already set it out, right, like as soon as it's ordered.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
More questions?
Thank you, Francis and Kevin, for this beautiful presentation. Yep. So next up for our interviews right now, we're going to have Mr. Don Don, president of the Gordon and Marilyn Macklin Foundation. Please get up for Mr. Don Don.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Don.
Hi.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, good
It's
to
been
see
a
you.
while since you've been a Raptor Tank. So
Right.
how do you think things are going so far? What do you think?
Well, I think everybody likes it in person better, goes without saying. And so, yeah, I think it's a better opportunity for the participants to meet the judges. And yeah, so obviously in person is better for this type of event.
It really is. And we talked a little bit about experiential learning, with other faculty members right here. But the twist for MBI students is that while we receive the experience, we're also providing this opportunity for other students at NC. So how does it make you feel that the MBI Institute provides this opportunity for all our community?
Well, I think it's good because it provides the MBI students like you leadership opportunity. I mean, leadership is helping others and, leading others. And for those of you who don't know, they do more than just run their show. I mean, they meet with the teams and help them with their presentations and so forth. So I think it's a great leadership opportunity for the MBI students.
It really is, and we thank you so much. And knowing how your aunt and uncle, Marilyn and Gordon Macklin, believed in people giving back to their communities, do you think they would be pleased to see what the MBI students are doing with Raptor Tank so far?
Yeah, so I know they would be. Unfortunately, they passed away before the MBI students started running this, but this is exactly the type of thing they would love, and it's a great opportunity. And it's adding value, and they were always about giving back, and you're helping, and then you even have former winners come back to be a judge and to pass along their knowledge. So they'd be in love with it. It's great.
All right. Well, we thank you so much for being here, for being our judge here today. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Don Don. And now we would like to introduce Ryan and GoGo Moving. So let's give it up for Ryan.
In the next 5 minutes, I intend to show you all how I will generate $75,000 worth of revenue in 1 month with just the equipment that you see here. So, by now, you all know the problem. Moving is incredibly stressful and expensive, and junk removal is incredibly wasteful, and a lot of high-quality items get thrown out. These are items that could be reused, contributing waste and filling up our landfills with unnecessary items, as well as harming our environment, which is why I'm thrilled to introduce you all GoGo Moving and Junk Removal. But first, let me introduce you to our team. My name is Ryan. I've worked with some of the major industry players such as College Hunks and 1-800-GOT-JUNK. I've owned GoGo for about 1.5 years. I currently work as a marketing intern, and in the summer, I have an internship coming up with JK Moving. We have a young but experienced managerial and legal team, and we have a 7-man crew with a combined 10 years of moving and junk experience. Now, let's take a quick look at our SWOT analysis. So, our strengths include our experience and our industry knowledge. We've been at this for a while, we know what we're doing. We also have very low overhead. We rent our trucks. That means that we can pass those savings on to the customer. Additionally, our focus on customer service sets us apart from the competition, giving us a leg up. Now, our weaknesses do include the fact that we are a small business, we have a small scale, and we do have limited brand recognition. However, that is changing. As in 2023, we were awarded a Thumbtack Top Pro Award. This means that we were one of the most recognizable and used moving companies on Thumbtack in 2023. Now, there are plenty of opportunities in this industry. It is a very lucrative industry, and GoGo is, there's more than enough space for GoGo to enter into the industry. But with that said, there is a lot of threats, or a lot of competition. That is our main threat. Now let's take a look at this industry. So, the junk removal industry is a $10 billion industry, and it has grown every year for the past decade. Additionally, when it comes to moving, the average American moves 12 times in their lifetime. That's 12 chances for GoGo to potentially get revenue. And here's why they're going to go with GoGo. 3 simple reasons. We are affordable, we are convenient, and we are eco-friendly, meaning that customers are going to get the best of both moving and junk removal with one provider. They're going to get that at a great price, and they're going to feel good about their move. Additionally, I'd like to point your attention here, as we have 4.8 stars on 129 reviews, that's from last year, meaning the customers already like our service. Now, let's look at some of the pricing, the real reason why you're going to go with GoGo. So, during my time at College Hunks, I learned how they price. So 2 hours is the industry minimum, that's the lowest amount of time they're going to charge you for. At College Hunks, you're going to be paying upwards of $500 per job. And if you move 12 times a year, or if you live in DC where people move, or renters move frequently, like every year, that's a lot of money that you're gonna be spending. Whereas with GoGo, $278 per job at our minimum end, that's savings of $222. And like I said, if you're moving 12 times in your lifetime, or moving every year because you live in DC and you're a renter, that's a lot of money that you're gonna be spending. And another reason why you're gonna go with GoGo. And if you look at the junk removal, so for a full truck at Got Junk, that can cost upwards of $1,600 with labor fees and recycling fees. Whereas with GoGo, a full truck can cost around $625. These are just estimates, but still, that is a lot of savings, upwards of $1,000. And if you're a small business owner or a homeowner and you consistently need these services, that's a big reason to go with GoGo. Now, let's take a look at our 3-year plan so I can show you all how I plan to get to that $75,000 number that I just mentioned. So in year one, in 2023, this is a rough estimate of what we did financially, but basically our goal was just to build a presence, build up awareness, and get our name out there. Additionally, we targeted homeowners and renters especially because people, like I said, move around all the time in DC, and there's plenty of money there. Additionally, in our first year, we generated over $10,000 in revenue, and like I said, we were a Thumbtack Top Pro company in 2023. But in year two, with the Raptor Tank money, we plan to begin to expand and scale our business. We plan to establish business partnerships and partner with real estate agencies, commercial clients, and offer bundle discounts. And in year three, we plan to get over $75,000 in combined revenue from both moving and junk, expanding our services and beginning the reuse and resell of every item. Now, how are we going to use that money? About $3,000 or 60% will go to legal liabilities and insurance. This will give us enough coverage for insurance for about 6 months. It will allow us to meet with a small business lawyer and a tax accountant who can tell us everything that we need to know. About 28% or $1,400 will go to marketing, and the remaining 12% will go to supplies and uniforms. With that being said, I'd like to leave you all here. Like I said, we were a Thumbtack Top Pro in 2023. We have 4.8 stars on 129 reviews, and based on these myriad of 5-star reviews, you can see that we are already an up-and-coming company, and with your money, we can truly take our business to the next level. Thank you.
Can I ask, can you go back to the slide before this and share what you were going to share? No,
this one?
The one you skipped, yep.
So yeah, this is just kind of what I see for the future. I see us partnering with domestic violence and homeless shelters to help give people who maybe can't afford to move a second opportunity at a much cheaper rate. I see us planting trees for homeowners, both as a way so they remember us, but also to keep in line with our eco-friendly mission and vision. That is incredibly important to me and a big reason why I wanted to start this company. And then there's the resale and reuse of every item. Like I said, a lot of items that are quality items get thrown away, and that's both another opportunity for potential revenue and an opportunity to continue to align ourselves with that eco-friendly goal, because that is something that is incredibly important to me as I continue to move forward.
You've got a lot of business already, which is great. So I'm interested in, you've got various marketing tactics you've talked about. Which one has led to the most business? Excuse me. And if you consider giving some type of a discount or something to these people who've already used you to recommend you to somebody else.
So in terms of discounts, maybe we are very cheap right now. One of the reasons, that's a big reason why people go with this is because we are very cheap. But the main way that we get our jobs right now is through referrals, right? People just telling their friends about us and this platform, Thumbtack. We plan to expand doing things like Google Ads, marketing, flyers, and yard signs, as these are the industry standard methods of marketing. But we do have a lot of opportunities to market.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see. I mean, looking at your price, I'm familiar with that type of pricing. It's fantastic, right? I mean,
yeah, I know, right? It's great.
I'm just wondering, is the constraint for growth right now just your time and the time of the folks on the team that you can't take on more jobs than you're getting?
Absolutely.
Is that a big part of it?
Absolutely. Okay. Last summer, the main reason why I couldn't really continue to expand the business was because I was doing all the jobs. You know, there was a few days when I had other teams out, and I would be, I would have a couch in my hand and be on the phone, and that's, you can't scale a business like that, obviously. Okay. And so the main constraint would be just my time and getting me away from the moves so that I can manage some of the back end stuff and allow us to continue to grow and scale the business.
And just quick, on the equipment, are you renting that, or are you do you own some equipment as well?
So as you can see from my little demonstration, I have about 5 of these dollies, and we would just need some more of these floor dollies. They're the best ones. And then, like I said, we rent our trucks so that we can pass those savings on to the customer.
Where are you getting your employees from? Are you getting part-time students from around here to do part-time work, or just advertising?
So it's kind of a combination of just people I know and people I've worked with. Like I said, I worked for College Hunks and 1-800-GOT-JUNK, and I played football in high school, so a lot of those guys then went into that industry. And so with their experience, they were more than willing to come and work for me. So you were asking about the crew, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so just a variety of people from my past, basically, friends.
And do you have insurance to cover all of those?
We don't, but that is what the Raptor Tank money is going to go for.
Okay.
Like I said, we have
scary.
operated a lot of moves. We've never broken anything, but
Oh, I didn't
insurance-
mean for the goods. I meant for the guys' backs.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. That is definitely another thing. It can be a dangerous industry, and so making sure that our workers are adequately protected and compensated is very important.
Thanks.
Let's piggyback on the crew question. So your competitors charge more. Do they also pay more, or are you paying comparable salaries?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. So the reason why no, first of all, to answer your question, college hunks and 1-800, they pay minimum wage. The way that they supplement that is that it's typically people tip, and they tip a lot. So that's really like where they are able to keep their wages low. Me, on the other hand, I prefer to go with more of a profit sharing method. You know, in my opinion, these guys are doing a lot of work. Whatever money that I can additionally give them, obviously, minimum wage, I gotta comply by that. But whatever money I can additionally put into their pocket that I don't have to put towards the business, I want to do that. So I want to make sure that they're, because this is hard work. It's not easy, and I think making sure that they're paid fairly helps them to want to stay with me.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. That was nice. Judges, can you take a few minutes to discuss that? And in the meantime, we will have an interview with Professor Coliton, business faculty member. Thank you. How you doing? Thank you. Can you share with our audience all the various ways in which you have participated in Raptor Tank over the years?
Well, I started not the very first Raptor Tank like some people here, but early on, I did some workshops, I provided supplemental materials, I coached the students. Eventually, I did become one of the preliminary judges, and so I've had a chance to see all of these folks present and help work with them on how to hone and improve the presentations.
Would you say that you are amazed at the jump between the preliminary round and the final round, like the improvement in between? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Very much.
Yeah?
Students are so excited. The competitors are so excited in the preliminary round. They just want to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And their PowerPoints are just jam-packed with information, so much so you can't read any of it. So part of our challenge is to help them identify what are the crucial elements that they need to communicate to convince the judges that they have a good idea, that it's a viable idea, and that they should go forward with it. Right. And there have been some remarkable improvements in the years.
An example, last year's winner, Juan, who is here with us today, he credits your business class as part of the reason why he was so successful in his pitch. So how do you feel about that? A student you taught is now successful with his own business.
I've known Juan for many years, and I am pleased, but I have to say I'm not surprised, because I've known him for so many years. And when he was in the Introduction to Business class, he was clearly the motivator. He was the energy. He was the group leader. He was the one that said, this is a good idea. We're going to make this happen. And I have seen that kind of energy and that kind of enthusiasm and passion for what he does in all the years that I've known him. So I'm not surprised that he has been successful at Raptor Tank.
Absolutely. And as a business faculty member, how do you think experiential learning boosts the classroom for you and your students' outcome?
I am a very big proponent of experiential learning, even when it's something as small as let's all go outside. I'll take the students outside, hand them a piece of rope, say, close your eyes, now make a square. And they have to figure out how to establish a leader of that team and how to allow the leader to come up with a strategy to get 30 students to form a square with their eyes closed, holding onto a piece of rope. So yeah, the concept of leadership is important, but doing it is really where they start to appreciate what goes into being a leader.
Right. Thank you, Professor.
All right. Thank you very much.
I love your tie, by the way.
All right, please welcome Rashawn and Chris as they present their business idea, Forkcast.
Hello, I'm Roshan. I'm Chris. Both of us are computer science students who formerly work in the restaurant service industry. Now, why would I mention this industry? We've seen firsthand an underlying problem we know we can solve. Let's talk about the problem, efficiency. tracking demand for goods and services is time consuming and physically demanding. Profitability. People remember how things make them feel. A lady walking a couple blocks to a coffee shop and then not having the ingredients hurts user experience, the brand, and overall profitability. Sustainability. According to research, 4 to 10% of all inventory purchased goes to waste. That's 22 to 33 billion pounds of food waste each year.
So y'all might be wondering, what exactly is Forkcast AI? We're an AI-powered web application that offers 3 core features to our clients. First would be AI-driven demand forecasting. So our platform harnesses historical data and real-time trends to deliver precise forecasts of customer demand. Second is optimized predictive ordering. So the system automatically recommends optimal ordering schedules and quantities to ensure that the inventory levels align with the projected demand. Last but not least is intelligent waste management. So by integrating demand forecasting and predictive ordering, we can minimize the food waste as well as enhance profit margins. So during a visit to a local coffee shop, me and Roshan learned the bare-bone methods that they use to track inventory, log waste, and manually forecast demand. So a staff member described these methods as time-consuming, physically demanding, and inefficient. So as you can see in the photo, implementing Forkcast AI could save them about $370 in waste expense in just 1 month alone.
Let's talk about the solution. So what does our AI model actually do? Well, it'll minimize waste and loss, increase efficiency, boost profit maximization, and adapt to peak changes and/or unexpected demand changes through historical data.
So let's take a look at our SWOT analysis. Our prominent strengths are specialized industry focus and maximizing client profitability. For weaknesses, there's a high cost of development and maintenance, and there's also a firm dependence on quality data. For opportunities, there's a growing demand for data-driven solutions and high potential for expansion to related sectors. And for threats, we have competition from established solutions and data privacy and compliance. So as portrayed, Forkcast AI really differentiates from our competitors through our AI-driven solutions. So additionally, we wouldn't require any POS hardware changes, as we can integrate with already established systems, as long as the data can be extracted.
Let's talk about them versus us. Them, expensive POS systems that just give you aggregate data for you to manually interpret and comprehend. Us, we take advantage of the empirical data already given in ways these static systems cannot match through our actionable insights. Let's talk about our plan of financials. We plan to offer an all-in-one $250 a month premium with a free upfront consultation. Looking at the financials, the cost to build the front end, maintain the back end would be around $800 monthly, and our competitive price ensures that new and small establishments won't feel burdened by this. As they grow, their profits increase, and with more data, we grow alongside them. Let's talk about the market size. 2.5% of the US GDP is attributed to the restaurant industry. Globally, that's 5%. Talk about our target market. With over 3,500 plus new and established independent listed restaurants in the DMV, each with a median expenditure of around $25,000 monthly, Forkcast AI has a clear value proposition. As mentioned previously, 10% of inventory can go to waste. Using this metric for only $250 a month, we could save them $2,500.
So how exactly would we scale Forkcast AI? 2024, we're going to launch the first version of our website along with the core features, as well as onboarding small to medium-sized restaurants. 2025, based on user feedback, we can incorporate new features such as mobile app accessibility and working with other food services such as food trucks, catering services, etc. 2026, we will gain recognition as a trusted solution for inventory management and waste reduction in the restaurant industry. 2027 and beyond, we can consider expanding into new geographic markets, both domestically and internationally, and our solution can also be tailored into almost any inventory-based businesses, such as e-commerce.
Let's talk about the investment. This is where Raptor Tank comes in. Potential prize money allocation will go 31% into marketing. This is SEO, paid ads, email lists, etc. 27% will go into the development. 23% will go into the operational costs. This includes maintaining the system. And the final 19% is a buffer for any miscellaneous expenses.
So how Forkcast AI works is the user inputs the data in the form of a spreadsheet. That data is fed into the AI model so it can learn patterns and make predictions that can provide actionable insights that the users can use to improve their business and maximize profitability.
Let's talk about the project timeline. We've just finalized the framework and we're currently in the design and implementation phase, which will be followed by a 6-month testing phase where we go with local businesses testing and making sure our software is accurate. And finally, from there, we'll go on and publish.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Also, I just want to mention that if you were curious about how the full stack application would work, here's a technical framework. You can ask any questions about that.
Can you give me the simple framework? Give me a,
Okay.
a simple example of
Simple
how,
frame-
as a
okay.
restaurant owner, give me a use case. I ordered extra cheese. How does all that work that you tell me not to order extra cheese next time?
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
So the POS system that a restaurant uses is already, for example, a Toast POS system is already given quantity, and as the user server inputs data, all of that is going to be stored in a separate software at their computer at the back that they have to keep for like sales records, etc. So that data there's nothing they're doing with it other than manually looking at it. So they just add it to the model, and based on historical sales data, if they have it or not, we'd know, hey, we'll give you this predictive ordering suggestion. Burgers were selling a lot this week, so might as well add more cheese to that, etc.
And if they didn't have enough data, if they were a very new business, that's where the consultation part comes in. Well, we work with them in the early stages of their business, and we tell them why they need to be collecting the data. And if they invest in Forkcast AI, they will see an increase in profits as they grow as a business.
Last question. What are other related industries that you mentioned? If, food waste isn't very exciting and a lot of people don't adopt your product, what's your other related industry?
So any inventory-based management business could technically use this. We're starting with the restaurant because we've underlined seeing a problem at hand. We've seen how much food goes to waste. We know margins are poor as is in a restaurant, so I think it's best to optimize it with them. And because we have experience, I think that kind of brings credibility when we go to businesses and end up discussing with them like, hey, we've been in this situation, we can help your business, we can boost profits, and this is gonna reduce waste.
How many months of data do you need before that you can really predict what they should be doing differently in the future?
So it really varies because with AI models, it can have a high accuracy rate based on small data, but they have to be really good data.
So you're really dependent on these people giving you, like, garbage in, garbage out. They really need to give you good information, and
yeah,
you're
but
not
if
going
they have
in
a
and-
lot of data, that could also, so either they could have a lot of data that is not very like fine-tuned, or they could have small, very high quality data.
Okay.
They could work.
So that's where our development kind of comes in. So with any data that's really rough, we would create our own like proprietary software to clean that data, and that would be fed into the model. So they can really input anything they want, and it would show the accuracy level they can expect. So the more data, the better. So
Thank you.
Quick, great presentation. Hopefully you guys are thinking about working with the MBI Cafe, maybe, I don't know. They might just test out, right? I mean, it seems, yeah, that seems like a good case study. But the point you just made about the data and getting that in, you said something about spreadsheets earlier at one point, one of the slides. Is that the only way to kind of bring the data in, or you've got ways to kind of connect through it?
We have ways to connect. So one of the platforms we're using, Microsoft Power Automate, they actually have a way to integrate directly with the POS systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they wouldn't have to, input it manually. But with the case study, we saw that their data is already transferred to a spreadsheet. So it'd be pretty convenient for them to just download that and put it in. Yeah. However, we can integrate with more complex POS systems. So for example, a POS system is quite expensive. So for companies that don't want to change their POS system yet, the data is already going to a spreadsheet, so they can decide to just upload that. However, if they do have a complex POS system, we can just directly connect it to that, and they don't have to worry about it at all.
So well done. The fact that you guys already did this made your pitch more persuasive. So I thought that was good that you emphasized that. My question's really on your core market within the restaurant industry, because there's all sorts of different restaurants. I mean, you mentioned food trucks and coffee shops and fast casual. There's full services, all sorts of price points. Is there one subset within there that you think this is most likely to buy our product? And how would you start pitching your services to that subset, or how are you going to kick things off to pitch your services?
Great question. So we're going to focus on independent listed restaurants. We're not going to worry about franchises like Chick-fil-A, McDonald's quite yet, because I'm sure they have their own means of doing things. So we'd be working with them. And also during the testing phase, we will be reaching out to these businesses saying, hey, we'll do this for free so that we can fine tune our software. And as a result, you're getting this value for free. And with that, we're getting free referrals, I guess, because once we go to publish our software, we have an account of, hey, we tested with this, it worked. And I think that'll also help us, when we go to reach out to these businesses.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rashawn and Chris. We will now be hearing from our final interviewee, and that is Austin Wickham, former Raptor Tank co-lead. Hey, Austin, how's it going tonight?
It's pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. Like Caroline, you are a first today, actually.
Yeah.
You are our very first Raptor Tank student leader who is now our judge. So how does that feel?
I'm so happy to be back. It is amazing just to see the work that you all have done to grow Raptor Tank since I've been here. So kudos to you.
Thank you. And since you graduated from MC in 2017, you then transferred to the University of Maryland, to the Smith School of Business. How do you think MBI prepared you for that transition and for your success at University of Maryland?
The MC and MBI experience really helped me hone great habits that I was able to carry on when I went to Smith and then in other aspects of my life. Making sure that you are a lifelong learner, taking on challenges, making sure that you're trying things that are new and that are out of this, that you haven't done before. Those are some of the different skills and thoughts and mindset that was built at MC and through the MBI program that I've carried on.
And you were also a former NC, right, for Raptor Tank? So now that you see that experience from a different perspective, how does that make you feel? How do you think that being MC has inspired your career track and how that has helped you?
It is amazing how they're able to do this in one semester. Way back when, 2017, we had 2 semesters to try to put this whole production together. So how you all have scaled is insane. When I had that full year, we had a chance to work with entrepreneurs and learn about their businesses, help give certain ideas, and then from having that experience, now in my career, I'm working with different corporations when they enter into any type of merger or acquisition, and then talk about their business strategy on doing so successfully.
It's great to see how Raptor Tank has helped you. And, speaking of Raptor Tank, how do you think you can do now? Do you think you still got it? Can you present our next? Can you present our next contestant for us?
Let's see.
We're right here. Can you do this? Take my position.
All right.
Got it.
So let's check it out. Okay, so next up for our final contestant, we have Camille to introduce his business, Puffy Rugs.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kamau Chinchampo. I'm the founder and artist behind Puffy Rugs. Like many of you, I understand the frustration when it comes to making a new place feel like home. A couple of years ago, when I moved into my own space, I spent days searching for a rug that could fit my room and fit my personality. And as such, I used that frustration to find a gap in the market. Mass-produced rugs lacked personality, custom options were limited and overpriced, and finding rugs that fit my unique space seemed almost impossible. In a world where consumers and businesses are looking for sustainable, eco-friendly options, alternatives that reflect personal style and brand identity, where could they possibly find it? That's where Puffy Rug comes in. We put the focus on the customer, putting them in a driving seat. I created Puffy Rugs, where we craft made-to-order custom rugs using high-quality, eco-friendly material. Our pieces are fully customizable in size, material, and we deliver faster than traditional rug makers. Our main revenue streams aren't just making rugs. We try to put the focus on the community, where we provide workshops to the local community in learning how to make rugs, providing local workshops online where aspiring rug makers can also learn how to make rugs as well. And this includes online coaching and business advices. And I'll be planning a Puffs collection of my own custom rug collection to consumers who would like to buy them. So our rugs are basically priced on the size, material cost, and design complexity. So they usually follow the amount of material cost, the labor time, and if there's any issues in the make process, that'll be marked up in a percentage. So as an example, I decided to make the Raptor Tank logo to demonstrate how it would be priced. So the total size is around 4 square feet, which shows that it'll be around $8 for the primary cloth material. And since by reference, it takes around 8 ounces of yarn for the tufting gun to when you're making the rug. So that would be around 48 ounces, 8 times 4. I'm sure we all could do it. And then the total cost of that is around $32, with the adhesive being around 10% of the total can. That'll get you around $2.25. With the total material cost being around $16, it'll take me around 4 to 5 hours to make this, or it did. And that gets me a total price of $65 of making this rug. And if there's any extraneous circumstances, like a rushed order or any complications, I usually mark that up by a certain percentage as well. So in our in a past month, I made around $627 marketing my rugs, around $50 to $130, trying to get sales in. And that is done well on social media as well, with over 10,000 views on 10,000 engagements and interactions on both TikTok and Instagram. My current investments amount to a total around $2,000 with no overhead costs, and most of the profits going straight to me. Annually, I project my annual cost to be around $1,100, with the approximate price of making a rug around $60, medium-sized rugs to say. So in my first year, I project to make around $7,000 at minimum, with 4 to 6 rugs per month and an annual revenue of $630. In the second year, I plan to grow my business, hiring a part-time artisan to help me in the process, which will increase my total revenue to around $51,000. And this includes increasing my workshop space. And in the third year, will be a full artisan team of 2 to 3 people working full-time Monday to Friday, with our annual rugs going from 250 amount to 330 rugs a year, with our total revenue being around $100K a year. Thank you for listening.
Where's my Puffy rug?
It is currently in production.
Good answer. You mentioned the space in Hyattsville. Is that something you're in now? The picture you showed looked like a production setup in a basement, or is it?
I currently work in my garage.
In your garage, okay. All right.
It's around 200 square feet. I plan on expanding to 500 square feet in Hyattsville.
Okay. And how large was that rug that you were working on it looked pretty big.
So it was around the same size as this. It was just a small drill of an anime character.
Okay.
It's a huge sheet. I'm working on a few as we speak.
Okay. Yeah, I love the idea. I mean, you put the market up there for what you're currently doing, with a full complement of artisans. Are you working with other people right now that are helping you with this?
At the current moment, I do have a friend who's also in this business.
Okay.
But I do ask her to come help me when it comes to adding in the color or cleaning up, especially cleaning up, which takes most of the time.
Okay, thank you.
Great presentation. I love the product. I can see the hard work that goes into it and the dedication. How else do you plan on selling your products? Have you looked at pop-up markets, like farmers markets and things like that, to get your product out there?
Absolutely. So when the time comes, I plan on making my own collection of rugs, or making popular selection of designs and vector designs, and going out to pop-up shops, going to my local gym. They have a Thursday event, a member appreciation day, showcasing my rug collection, at local colleges, local events, local venues, and then reaching out to real estate agents who want a more high-end type of rug, which would be future I'm planning.
Do you have anything in inventory, or is everything made to order?
At the current moment, everything is made to order because I can't shoulder the cost of the yarn, especially.
You talked about teaching others, and so how long is that process when you're helping out with a different creator, and do you plan on recruiting them to your team?
So when helping out students, it would be the class is around 3 to 4 hours. You come in, you have a small sheet around 4 square feet. So you kind of learn how to make your own rug, the entire process from start to finish with the glue, cleaning up and everything. And if they're interested, those clients usually will refer other clients who might become students, and the students refer other clients, and it just goes on and on and on.
So do you see teaching and holding these workshops as an ongoing secondary income stream, or do you eventually want to not do that and just make rugs, or do you want to keep both of those income streams?
Yeah, so I'll be keeping both income streams. I want to have
It's a great
multiple
idea.
income streams coming in.
Very good.
Maybe you can, Pete, take that from me.
Of course. This one?
So when you talk about beating up, does that mean like shearing it and?
Shearing, carving, scissors, everything. Vacuuming, all of it.
Yeah. Cool.
Look, look at that.
All right, let's give it up for all of our contestants. At this time, judges, you can make your way out for the deliberation. We know you all are ready for these raffle prizes. That will be coming up soon. But at this time, we have a special guest for you, Mr. Ben Landers, who will be interviewed by our MBI student, Montgomery College.
Thank you for coming to Raptor Tank, Montgomery College. Before we get into your academic and career paths, can you tell us what do you do now?
Yeah, what I do now is sort of an interesting question in that it's fluid. I sold the business that I created in 2021, and then I stayed on through the end of 2023. So for 2024, I've been sort of thinking about if I want to do something else, what I want to do, and I've been investing in businesses and then serving as an advisor to the businesses that I've invested in.
Oh, that's
But
great.
I'm sort of semi-retired.
Semi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it true that you attended Montgomery College at one point?
I did. I've actually attended Montgomery College twice. I graduated from Wooten High School in 1994, didn't know what I wanted to do for a variety of reasons, didn't have the best grades. Came to Montgomery College, and I was managing a bicycle shop, taking classes on the side, and the idea was that I would transfer to a four-year school. So I was here for maybe about a year and a half. And then I actually came back to Montgomery College, and I took a course in web design and development in 2006 or 7, just before starting Blue Corona, which is the company that I built and sold, which is kind of fun. I was a young student, and then sort of, I think, one of the older students in my class the second.
You got to experience both sides.
I did.
What do you remember from Montgomery College back then, and what do you think of how it's changed from since?
You know, back then it was sort of a blur. I remember I was the same physical size that I am now, but I remember being super intimidated coming from high school to college, where you had sort of a lot more students, and then students of different ages, different backgrounds. So I remember the campus feeling much more intimidating. I was actually a Raptor Tank judge maybe 1 or 2 years ago, when post-COVID it was much smaller. And I remember that was the first time I had been back to the campus since taking the web design course. And I just remember thinking like how much it's grown and how nice some of the new buildings are. The Macklin Business Institute was not here the first time that I was here. So a lot of new things were going on.
New things, yeah. We have a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Where did you go for your four-year degree, and what did you major in?
So I went to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. The Ohio University without the great football team. I majored in organizational communications and business, and sort of had a dual degree.
Do you think MC prepared you for that success, or for your success at your four-year university?
I think, I was not ready to go to a four-year college right out of high school. Again, for a variety of reasons. I had no study habits, didn't know what I was doing. I think MC definitely gave me, sort of I got all the basic courses. I took college English, algebra, statistics, psychology, sort of gave me a good base. And it was an introduction to the independence that you have going away for a four-year school. So, being able to say I'm a morning person, so I'm going to take my classes, early in the morning, and then I'm going to work, and then I'm going to take classes in the evening. I didn't fit the sort of the rigidity of high school, but college was much easier.
I relate to that a lot.
Yeah.
Did you always know that you wanted to have your own business, or did that realization come after working in the corporate world?
Yeah, so it came after working in the corporate world. I know people say you shouldn't think like this, but I wanted to make a lot of money. I mean, growing up in Montgomery County, I think you're exposed to like ultra wealthy people and sort of people from a more humble background. Now, I was more from the humble side. And so I knew I wanted to make a lot of money. I thought initially the path to doing that would be as a sales executive for a company like Xerox or IBM or AT&T, sort of at that time. And it was after going to work for some of those bigger companies that I sort of realized that, there's sort of a game of climbing the corporate ladder that's not unlike the rigidity of high school. You sort of have to kind of conform. I have issues with that. And so at some point, I sort of looked at myself in the mirror and said, if I'm ever really going to do well, it's got to sort of be in a more me-created environment versus a big company.
How did you identify the opportunity and the need of this market that you want?
Sure. So I've actually had two companies. The first one's not worth getting into because it was not a big success, but I had an office coffee business and then the digital marketing and technology company that came later. But both of those, I kind of came to them being what I would call in market. So in other words, the first time around, I was working for a bottled water delivery company. And I was an in-office person. I wasn't delivering the water. But one of the drivers broke his leg, and the owner of the company said, grab your coffee, we're going to run a water route. And when we were out running the water route, we noticed that our coolers, the bottled water coolers, were in these kitchens with these decrepit coffee machines. And by 2 or 3 in the afternoon, you had a half pot of full coffee that was cold. And this was right when the single cup Keurigs were coming out, the little single cup brewers. And so I said to the owner of the company, what if we got a Keurig distributorship and we just tried to sell the coffee machines to our existing 15,000 bottled water delivery customers? That could be a whole separate business. So that was the first one. And then the second one, we built a tracking system to track the performance of advertising for the bottled water company. So to sort of say, do the yellow pages, you guys probably don't even know what the yellow pages are today. Is Google performing better than Facebook? Is performing better than Instagram? We built a system to quantify that for the bottled water company. And then when I was out demoing the coffee, I met the owner of a plumbing company, and I said to him, how do you track all your advertising and marketing? And he said, we just do whatever our competitors are doing. And so I went back to the owner and said, I have another business idea that is much broader in scale, that is to take the system that we've built for Drink More Water and then go out and sell it to all these other companies.
What was the biggest challenge that you faced when you started your first company, and what prepared you to deal with it, and what did you learn from it?
Sure. There are a lot of different ways to start a company. You can go out, if you have a lot of rich friends, you can go out and raise money. You get all this money, and then you have sort of this duty to hopefully get your friends back their return with, with interest or whatever. We didn't start the business that way. My partner and I put in a little bit of money, just enough to give us a runway of maybe 6 to 12 months. And then all the money that we used to finance the company going forward had to come from the business. I think, people call that bootstrapping. And the challenge, I think bootstrapping is a great way to build the business. The challenge with it is that it's like driving a car down a curvy highway at night, in the dark while you're trying to work on the car and drive it, work on it, and the car is on fire. So you're just always doing 100 different things.
So,
and then how did I learn from it is to sort of reframe every problem. When you're starting a company, it's going to be problem after problem after problem. And they don't get easier, they get harder. The idea that you look at Apple and say, this is a company that has no issues, nothing could be further from the truth. So you just have to reframe it like a game.
So you've faced a lot of difficulties. What would you say was the most difficult part of being your own boss, and what was the most beneficial?
Sure. I think the hardest thing that a lot of new entrepreneurs face if they don't, I had a partner, but he did not work in the company. He was 18 years older. He gave a little bit more of the money for the same amount of the business ownership, but he did not work for the company. And I think the loneliness is the biggest challenge. You're going to toil away nights, weekends, early mornings, really all by yourself, and you can't go to your employees and tell them all your sob stories. Even when you're poor, they think, oh, this is the boss, he's rich, I'm, poor. So it's super lonely. That's, I think, the hardest thing. And I would recommend you join like a peer-to-peer group. I'm friends with Bill Keating through an organization called YPO. So joining YPO or Vista, somewhere you can talk to other business owners.
That's good. What did you gain from like your education earlier on that you didn't realize was so essential for your success, but now that you look back, you've realized it helped a lot?
Sure. So I had, again, 2 degrees, organizational communications and business. My dad is an engineer, a very rational guy. He thought both degrees were kind of a joke. And particularly organizational communication degree. I only got that degree because the classes were easy and the ratio of female to male was like favorable to me. And that's also where I got my wife, just incidentally. But the interesting thing is that I use nothing that I learned in Ohio's College of Business. Hopefully they're not watching this. I learned nothing that I needed to run the company. But the organizational communication classes, I took a class on interviewing, group dynamics, organizational development, like how to design a high-performance organization. I use that stuff all the time, and I sort of joke with my dad, like, you thought I got these crappy degrees, I've made more money than you've ever made. And then, and the goofiest degree is the one that I've used the most.
That's crazy. I think a lot of us also struggle with our parents being, that's not a good degree. But
you need someone to struggle against as a kid.
Yeah, I think so. I think that helps a lot. What if you've had an opportunity to watch a lot of our business pitches from our students today, what is an advice you would give them as they start their entrepreneurial mindset? And what value do you think there is as they get this mindset early on in their education?
I mean, I always have thought of business as a game. And I think of entrepreneurship as like the most, in it, on the field aspect of the game. So I think getting an entrepreneurial mindset early in your career, even if you don't go on to be an entrepreneur, you go work for a company, being sort of observant of problems in the marketplace or problems within a business, creative problem solving, resource constraint problem solving, like the propensity to act, to like get your hands dirty. All of those things, I think, come from being an entrepreneur. I mean, I watch these contestants getting up here and sort of pitching. I like to think that I would have done an okay job as a young student. I would have been terrible. So practicing that early is invaluable.
You've mentioned some of the skills that, as an entrepreneur, you would use. What type of employees would you like to hire that have these skills in the workforce?
Sure, I'll answer it a slightly different way, which is, in terms of like the skills that you need, we hired, our business, Blue Corona, was very specialized. And so we hired, for very specific roles. We had a very strong company culture. So the number one thing that I looked for when I was interviewing people was the culture. Like, are they going to be a fit? If someone's been raised with, a set of values that run drastically different to the company, like they're aggressively individualistic, there's no amount of training that Blue Corona is going to provide that's going to get them to change, 20 years of parenting a certain way. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing is skills are not as interesting to me as talents. And there is a difference. Everyone should read the book First, Break All the Rules. I don't remember who wrote it, but it's a very popular book. And it differentiates skills versus a talent. And a talent is like a recurring pattern of behavior that can be productively applied in a company or in the role. And so, like, if we needed someone to do sales for the coffee company, where they were going to have to go door to door, rejection after rejection all day long, you needed someone who was like high energy, day in, day out, and that the rejection just went like right past them. And having like skills and sales training, the person with the talent always trumps the person who has the skill. You can teach someone the skill, but talent is more innate.
Rejection therapy for a lot of us.
Yes, yes.
We have a lot of students here in our audience today. What is your final advice on things we can do both in our education and personal lives that would help prepare us when the opportunities do arise for us?
Sure. That's a good question. I would say number one is know exactly what you want. In any given situation, just be crystal clear about what it is you're trying to achieve, and then visualize that. Paint a really vivid picture of it. All these things sound cliche. I don't think there's a single thing in my life that I haven't visualized, kind of where I knew what I wanted, made a picture of it, where it hasn't come true. And that's bad and good. So all the things that you stay up at night worrying about, those can come true as well if you don't redirect your brain. And then the second thing I would say is my career sort of splits in two. The first half of my career, I had no mentor. I was also sort of trying to be unique. I would go into the organization and I wouldn't copy the best person. I was trying to come up with my own way. The second half of my career, I met someone who, other than meeting my wife and my parents and my kids, the person who has had the biggest positive effect on my life and on my career is Bob Perini, the guy from Drink More Water, who was he was the first guy where I said, I just want to achieve exactly what you've achieved. I don't care if it's a water business, a coffee business, a digital marketing business. I just want a life that kind of looks like yours. And he had gone to Harvard Business School, and I thought, this guy's so smart. And I said, what should we do? And he was like, let's find another company and just copy what they do. I mean, not literally, but let's find the 10 best digital marketing companies, outline what they do, what we like of this one, what we like of this one, and mush them all together, and that will be what we do. And that is almost exactly what we did. And I just thought it was so funny that you go to school, and it's so reinforced, don't plagiarize, I don't know how you guys deal with ChatGPT, but so you get this ingrained in you that you have to invent, Amazon or Google. And based on my IQ, that was never going to be an option. And so the next best thing is, to find something that's working and just emulate it. And that would be my advice to you. Know what you want. You'll be better than half the people out there just knowing exactly what it is you're trying to achieve. Visualize it and then find a mentor, and don't be afraid to just hitch your cart to someone else's playbook and execute it better.
It was nice talking to you today. I hope a lot of our students here get to use a lot of your advice and experiences, get to learn from you. And now I'll invite back Samantha and Matthew.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, everybody, the results are in. And before we go over this, I'm going to have Director of the MBI program, Stephen Lane, give a quick word.
Yeah, we got our judges coming back in the room. So my name's Steve Lang. I'm the director of the MBI program. We're very proud and happy to run the Raptor Tank competition. The MBI program is about experiential learning, and we try and give our students an opportunity to take what they're learning into the classroom, put into practice in the real world with different experiences. That certainly applies with Raptor Tank. So I'd like to thank the MBI students. So if you're an MBI student, please stand up and be recognized, please. Now, this program doesn't happen alone just with MBI. There's a lot of people that are involved, and I want to make sure that I mention a few of them. First of all, there's so many people involved with MCTV. As you can see, I told our students, this is a show, and they put on a real show today, from the planning that happened months ago to the sound, to the cameras, to just the run of show, all of those things. So can we have a big round of applause for everyone involved with MCTV? We also have had help from the College Foundation staff and from events planning. And a couple of those people here today, Mr. Stuart Tart, Stacy Miller, if we can give a round of applause for them, please. Before we even get here, there's a preliminary round, and we had a number of faculty who served as judges, some of whom you heard from today. Some of who are here. We have Mr. John Coliton, Professor Durrell Engel, Professor Brian Bake, who is our head timer today. Who else was a head? Who else? Veranda Circe from hospitality. So all in all, if we can give the faculty involved a big round of applause. You are all also going to get to experience some great food for the experiential learning of the hospitality program. And so when you see them, say thank you. The leadership from that program, from the coordinator of the program to the chairs. We have one of the chairs, Professor Anderson, who's here. We have another chair from the Rockville department, Professor Tiberius here, and then Professor Circe, and that whole team that runs that. So again, that's Sakura Shu and Jessica Butto. So let's thank them as well. Please save me at least one Nashville slider. Those sound so good. Okay. And I also want to make a special mention of our donor, Mr. Don Dawn, who's here, president of the Macklin Foundation. Their generosity over the years has helped support these experiential learning initiatives for our students, which then in turn helps experiential learning for other students at the college. So please thank you, Mr. Dawn. Other college leadership all the way from, goes all the way up to Dr. Williams, but directly for me is Dean Alton Henley, who supports what we try and do with our program, providing opportunities for students. I'm not sure if he's still here, but please thank Alton Henley. We certainly want to thank our judges and our guest speaker today. Taking the time out of your day really means a lot to us, to the participants in the program. And to see you be excited about their ideas, I think the participants will be are thrilled that people as successful as you are willing to come in and support their ideas. So let's give it up one more time to the judges. And I also want to thank our contestants. Especially in the last week, it's been kind of a grind and asking you, hey, can we get things tomorrow? Can we get things in an hour? And that has happened. And you fought and you took those challenges and you really improved your presentations. And so we're really excited to see all that you accomplished. And I wish you all the best of luck. So let's hear one more time for the contestants. And a specific thank you to our Raptor Tank leadership team. We had 2 freshmen who were on the leadership team today, Nicole Anyana and Liana Vortskul. They're over there in the corner. We had Mencken McConan, who gave the interview to Mr. Landers. Marciano Rodriguez, who has been a bit of a floor general for us today, making sure people got to the right spot. And our 2 MCs, Samantha Flores and Matthew Seeger. Let's give it up. Okay, enough from me. I know we want to hear the judges' results, and we also want to get some food, so please welcome back Matthew and Samantha.
All right. Now, we do have the results in. However, we will have Mr. Bill Keating, our head judge, explain the deliberation process to you all before we give the results. All right, Mr. Bill Keating?
Thank you, Professor Lang. I think we would be remiss because he has made all of this happen. We have come so far over the past few years. COVID kind of set us back a little bit, but now we are back in a phenomenal environment. Thank you to all the folks who are here and participating, to all the contestants who participated, all the folks who made this happen. I just couldn't be more proud to be here and so appreciative of everything that Professor Lang has done. So can we give him a round of applause? Just absolutely fantastic. And because of all of his hard work and effort and rallying this team and getting everyone kind of engaged to make this happen, this was probably one of the most difficult years we've ever had in terms of deliberating about the presentations that we saw today. They were fantastic. The hard work came through, the preparation came through, the creativity came through in all of those presentations. And we, the judges, we struggled. We had some difficult conversations about how to kind of think about, what the next steps could be with each one of the participants and contestants. And so, can we give them a hand again? I'm sorry. Well, I know we'll give them one hand. Again, thank you. Thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for making it hard on us to try to figure this out and to try to come up with the folks who what we could give each of you for the participating. So, did you want me to say more?
Could you talk about the way you split it up and how you decided to go with that?
Yeah, so the way we typically do this is we look for a few different things about each one of the presentations. We're kind of looking for how do we see it perhaps going forward? How will the funds get used? You hear us ask that question a few times of how would you use the winnings if you were to win something from the competition? And then we go back just kind of on all of our experience here and kind of share our thoughts about how we kind of see the future for each one of these. And we kind of walk through those ideas and either kind of go back and forth, exchanging our opinions about each. But like I said, it was a difficult deliberation this year. It really was. It's fantastic presentations.
Shall we?
We shall.
It seems like it was a difficult year because everybody will be walking away with something. We have finalist awards, 3 finalist awards, and then we'll go into third, second, and first. So we're going reverse order here. With a finalist award of $250, we have Forever Flowers. You can come on down and get your picture taken. Receiving another finalist award of $250, we have Vision Gate. Let's all come on down. Receiving another $250 finalist award, we have Puffy Rugs. Thank you. All right, and for our final 3, in third place, we have Forkcast. Receiving $750. Thanks, man. Good job, guys. In second place, receiving $1,000, we have GoGo Moving. And in first place, receiving $2,500, we have SONE.